So today what I'm doing is predicting the offseason, where every player is going to sign. So what I've done is I've simulated the 2020 season in MLB The Show. We've gotten to the offseason and I've released every single player that has become a free agent. So if they're a free agent, they're a free agent. There were a couple issues with it. Like I offered arbitration to a couple players that ended up getting cut by their team, like a Clint Frazier, Tyler Wade, players like that. Basically players that weren't going to make the 40-man and then were ended up cut. That's what happened. I just already offered them arbitration and therefore I wasn't able to do it since I made the roster yesterday as this video is coming out. So I hope you do enjoy today's video. If you do, hit that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content. And of course, in the comment section down below, let me know your free agent predictions. Do you think any trades are coming? Let me know. I'd like to see what you guys can come up with. Let's get into it. All right, so I feel like the best way to do this is just fly through my offers for every single team. Okay, Orioles, super toss-up. I really don't know what they're going to do. Honestly, I just threw names that are going to be on like a team fringe AAA MLB type situation. Just players that are looking to try to get more innings, everyday time, but also just kind of fill a roster spot. That's what I did with the Orioles. Kind of the Orioles, just the bad teams. It's kind of the same thing. It's a toss up with them. It's basically like whatever. Red Sox. I'm trying not to go too crazy with a lot of teams on big name signings. They obviously brought back Vasquez, but then I think Chris Taylor and Robbie Ray are going to be their two big acquisitions. Robbie Ray to replace Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Chris Taylor to kind of be a second baseman or outfielder for them. I feel like he helps them out. Kind of a Kike Hernandez situation. So boom, those are your two big name signings. Little reunion with Anthony Rizzo to play first base. Boom. Yeah. Corey Seager with the Yankees. We've also got Betances, Robertson, and Bradley. Make him shave the beard. I know, crazy. And then, of course, we got Caillou out in center field. Corey Seager, I don't know. Rumors are like they're not going to go for a big name. They are going to go for a big name. They're not. They are. Whatever it is, I feel like Corey Seager is going to play shortstop for the Yankees. Short porch helps him out. Boom, there you go. Bullpen. Bullpen's a weird one just because, like, I feel like they don't really always go big with bullpen arms. So I feel like they kind of do more of like a let's plug this guy in and hope it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So those are your relievers. Next up, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a weird one. They're like the really good team that's hard to judge just because they just are. They don't spend a lot of money. They like those random under the radar picks that always end up being really good. Kyle Seager, Brad Miller are kind of like my weird ones, kind of outside the box, along with Jorge Soler. And then, of course, some pitchers that they'll make Cy Young or reliever of the year. So there it is. Boom. Next up, Blue Jays. I think my big names for them are going to be, I think the signing of Jose Barrios is kind of the big move in the offseason. That's their, hey, we're making sure this pitcher doesn't leave us. So you've got Barrios. You plan around Manoah. You hope that Pearson sorts everything out. Is he a bullpen arm? Is he a starter? I think that's kind of another thing. He's kind of in limbo between the two and ends up being a starter. There's 3-year starters right there. Barrios, Pearson, Manoah. Boom. That's pretty good. And then you can kind of plan around that. So I think they maybe go for a Bundy. They bring Big Maple home. And then maybe try to bring back Steven Matz as well. But I think Eduardo Escobar is that big bat that they try to help him out. Switch hitter, can play a couple different positions, helps them out. I think Eduardo Escobar kind of fits the Blue Jays' needs. Next up, White Sox. Conforto fits checks a lot of the boxes the White Sox need. Lefty bat, can play right field. That's the boxes that needs to be checked. Boom, there you go. Pitchers, I don't know. They need to replace Rodon. I don't think they go out and sign a big name. Yeah, I don't know. And then I threw in Goodwin and Carpenter just for good measure. I don't know what the Guardians are going to do. I just guessed. There, I said it. Carlos Correa to the Tigers. It just kind of seems like everything's pointing in that direction. I don't know. I don't think the Tigers end up spending that kind of money on a shortstop, though. I think they'd rather spread out the money a little bit rather than going big on Correa. Maybe they sign Greinke for a season or other pitchers as well. I think pitchers is probably where they're going to spend their money. But it just seems like Correa's headed to Detroit, so I threw him in there. I'm not sold on that idea, but maybe Royals, I have no idea. No idea at all. So there you go. Those are your Royals picks. Twins, same thing. No idea whatsoever. The Twins need pitching, so that's why I was super heavily focused on pitching. So there it is for them. And then I threw in Ryan McBroom just to have some fun with it. Houston might not be a problem. Starling Marte. I think he joins the center field spot with the Houston Astros. I know it's crazy, but they've got a little bit of money to work with. You throw Starling Marte out in center field, fills that hole that they need. Shortstop is still a big question mark, and I just don't see them going out and getting another one of those shortstops that's available. That was kind of my thinking. Maybe a Trevor Story. He is from Texas. Am I about to? I am. But then I don't think they get Marte if he goes Trevor Story. Oh, okay. Starling Marte or Trevor Story. Those are my guesses for the Astros. And then I think they get some bullpen help and, of course, some starter help with the loss of, like, what, Greinke? And I think did they lose somebody else? McCullers is injured, but I think they get John Gray. And then they throw in a couple other players that they just seem to like in Marwin Gonzalez and Martin Maldonado. Next, Angels. I think they do spend some money. Obviously, Syndergaard's joined. I think they bring back Iglesias. They bring in a fellow compatriot of Ohtani and Kikuchi, and then they bring in Tepera for some bullpen help, a backup catcher in Severino, and they give Carlos Martinez a shot. They could also go for any other pitcher. I don't know. I just went with Kikuchi because he's Japanese. There it is. All right, next, the Athletics. It looks like they're trying to shed money, so I think they're trying to get rid of players. So it kind of seems like they're just going to be in a weird spot. If it works for them, great. If not, then they'll just get rid of more players. So I just kind of signed random names. That's really what it was. So those are your ideas or your players for the Athletics. Honestly, the Athletics was a weird team to choose. Mariners, I think they get Semien. That's my big prediction. It was Semien or Chris Bryant for them. I think Semien at second base is the move. I really do. Then maybe a reunion with Pineda. Some sort of pitcher like that. One where they don't really need to spend a stupid amount of money on, but can really help them out in the rotation, give them some good innings, and then some bullpen help. Danny Duffy is an interesting one. I think he might. He could help them out too. I'm not sure on that one, but we'll see. This is a lot of signings for the Rangers, I know, but realistically, it was just like whoever. Maybe not Colome. But yeah, just kind of like whoever, just whoever can fill all those holes they have in the lineup. Chris Archer's a weird one. I'm torn between him going to the Rangers and the Cubs, but Trevor Story's the big name that you got to worry about. He's coming home to Texas. Like I said, maybe the Astros. Freddie Freeman's going back to the Braves. I think they do pick up some bullpen help in Mark Melancon and McHugh. They've already signed the Pineapple, and then Jock Peterson's coming back. Boom. Plus, Acuna's going to be healthy at some point at the beginning of next season, or maybe a month or two in, so they don't really need to go too crazy with some signings there. They have the depth. They'll be okay. Next up, Marlins. I know Roberto Perez isn't ideal for the catcher spot. He's more of a defensive catcher, and they're looking for some guy to provide a little bit more offense. So the rumors are they're looking to trade. The big name that's being thrown around is Alejandro Kirk that they're trying to acquire. But if they can't really get one, catcher is kind of a weird spot this offseason. I think Roberto Perez could be someone that they look to go after. I think they do get Castellanos, and then maybe Eddie Rosario if Castellanos doesn't work out. And then Miguel Rojas is already coming back, and then just a couple sprinkled in just to help out there. All right, Mets. You've lost Syndergaard. I think your replacement is going to be Anthony Desclafani. You've got Stroman coming back, Loop coming back, VR coming back. Maybe Tyler Anderson to help out with some depth because they do need a lot of pitchers. Realistically, you could go and just start throwing darts, and whoever it lands on, that's who you could choose for some starters with them. But yeah, those are your Mets players, the bigger names. Really, what I did was I kind of went down to like the 75 range for most positions, 70 for some positions, just to kind of fill it out, because there's so many names that I could have been like, oh yeah, Rick Porcello, he's gonna go to the AAA team of the Phillies, things like that. But I kind of stuck with kind of the bigger names. So with the Phillies, Chris Bryant's gonna partner up with his best friend Bryce Harper. Can play third base, can play center, can play left, can play first. Helps them out so much. I think the Phillies get him. And then I think they go for some bullpen help. Definitely help out that bullpen. Boom. Brad Hand, not the ideal signing. I know. Same thing with Steve Cishek. But I just don't see them. Maybe Kirby Yates. Kirby Yates could be a name. Okay, I'll throw Kirby Yates in there. I don't know if they go. I don't know if they go big on any of these other players. That's the thing. I just don't see the Phillies doing that. I could be wrong, but I think the big name for them is Chris Bryant, and then they could sprinkle in a couple bench bats as well. Next up, the Nationals. Nationals are going full, like, let's just get who we can get. I think they do get Schwarber, and then I think they kind of bring back some, like, familiar faces, and then maybe give Trevor Rosenthal a shot. He's coming back from, thoracic outlet syndrome, which is pretty devastating for pitchers. It's the same thing that Steven Strasburg has. So we'll see how they come back, but I think this is kind of what you can expect from the Nationals. Nothing too crazy, but at least they'll get some players in that could help out with the lineup. Cubs. Dude, as a Cubs fan, this pains me because I really don't believe any of the stuff that I'm hearing about the Cubs. I want to be optimistic, but at the same time, I'm seeing this Cubs team and I'm going, I think we sign guys 1 to 2 years, hoping that all our prospects develop into what we were expecting. And if that's the case, I'm looking at guys that are maybe 1-2 year deals, and then we either look to flip them at the deadline for more prospects, or we look to flip them for like MLB quality, like really young guys. So with that in mind, Mark Canha, maybe a McCutchen. We do need some help in the outfield. We do need a backup catcher. You know, Caratini was like one of our last serviceable backups in the last like 10 years. So Yan Gomes can be that guy. Wilmer Flores, I think, is an upgrade on David Bodie. So Wilmer Flores could help us out. Matt Duffy was great this season before he was injured. And then when he came back, he kind of just seemed like that long time off from injury just really threw him off. And then they throw in some pitchers to help out. I'm seeing reports that they're looking for any kind of pitcher to help them get innings done. I heard they were trying to sign Andrew Heaney. They've signed Wade Miley. So kind of things like that. Just guys that kind of right in the middle that they're not really going to compete a lot with other teams. Maybe a John Gray, maybe a Chris Archer. That was a player that I had potentially, things like that. No one too big. I don't think big names are coming to Chicago this year. Maybe not the north side at least. The Reds, it seems like they're getting rid of players. Luis Castillo, maybe Sonny Gray, some other names out there. That's what you get. Sorry. The Brewers. The Brewers are a weird team. I could see them trying to bring back Avisail Garcia. They've already brought in Michael Brosseau. And I don't know. Maybe Michael Conforto. They could maybe try to get Michael Conforto. That's definitely a possibility. First base, they could try to bring back Eduardo Escobar. And then they always do try to find those, kind of similar with the Rays. They try to find those diamonds in the rough for pitchers. So honestly, that's a tough one. They could end up going, getting one of these names, or they may not. So the Brewers are a tough team for me to decide. They're kind of like the Rays. I really don't know what they're gonna do. So I just didn't go too crazy. I honestly didn't really offer anything. It's not that I don't think the Brewers need help. I do think they could use a couple pieces. It was so tough for me to decide who they could get. Eduardo Escobar, they definitely could bring back. Brad Miller is like a weird piece that could fit. Outfield, maybe Mark Canha, yeah. Eddie Rosario. Oh, I did offer Eddie Rosario as a Brewer option. Let's see. Maybe they want to splash the cash on a Chris Taylor. Like maybe a Castellanos too. So it's not that I don't think that the Brewers won't sign anybody. It's just I don't know who. Pirates. Next. Not the Reds. The Cardinals. Cardinals, they've already signed Anderson Tejeda. I think they bring in Sean Doolittle if the Athletics don't. And then Carlos Rodon, that's their big move. I think they add some pitching this offseason. Bullpen and starter for sure. I think their offense is great. I think their infield, they've got gold gloves everywhere. Outfield, gold gloves everywhere. Don't change it, right? Next. Diamondbacks, no idea. They get whoever they can get. Rockies, same thing. Just whoever they can get. Dodgers, they bring back Kershaw. They bring back Scherzer, and then they find some way to afford Graveman, and then they bring back Jansen. Shortstop, they could bring back Seager as well. Maybe a Jonathan VR pick. But outside of that, I don't know. I think they kind of retain more of the players rather than going out and bringing in more. They're kind of ones that make trades happen. So they could also move Trey Turner to short and put Gavin Lux at second base too. So Padres, who do we have for the Padres? Let's see here. Kirby Yates, Chafin, Avisail Garcia helps them out in the outfield. That they do need the help in the outfield, and then they bring back Kayla. So you guys can kind of see pitching. Pitching's the big thing. They need pitching. They could also go out and get one of these guys. A Stroman is definitely a possibility. Alex Wood, a Desclafani, names like that. They could try to steal Gausman, but I think pitching's the big focus for the Padres. I just don't know if starters is going to be something that they get. I'm pretty sure Clevenger is supposed to come back. Lamet, if he can stay healthy, is a big thing. So we'll see what they do. Giants, I think they keep Gausman. Obviously, they've kept Belt. They'll keep Wood. Dominic Leone stays with them as well. And then I think with them, Joey Bart comes in at catcher. I think it's still kind of like, let's find players that fit our matchups. Josh Harrison could work. Who else? Wilmer Flores, they bring back. Maybe they try to sign like a Matt Duffy, just puts the ball in play type situation. Players like that. I don't think they're going big. I think the whole trade for Chris Bryant and that they didn't like him, I feel like that kind of keeps them away from wanting to spend big on position players. So we'll see what the Giants do, but I think they're pretty happy with the core that they have, and they might just try to fill in the gaps around that. So that's it. That's everybody. Boom. I'm going to leave it there. Let's get to the season. All right, so what I've done is I've turned everything on auto so the CPU can handle the lineups and everything. I didn't make trades auto because I don't want any trades to happen, but every player has signed with the team that they're supposed to. Now it's time to simulate the season, see how it plays out. So I'll see you guys at the end of it. All right, the season's over. It is there. Cleveland has made the postseason? What? What? Cleveland? Are we serious? This lineup made the postseason? Really? Okay. Cleveland, Houston. All right, well, let's just go to the standings. Let's see what we got. The East, it was the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Blue Jays missed out. We've got the Indians, or the Guardians, I should say, and the White Sox. And then the Astros. And then you can see the Blue Jays just missed out on the wild card by 6 games. National League standings. What do we got? The Marlins on top. Okay. What else we got? The Brewers. The Cubs are in second. What is... You all saw the offers that I put out there. What? How? It's just got to be the way that MLB The Show plays. So we'll take a look here to see how everything plays out. As you guys can see, who's the league leaders, at bats, hits, all that good stuff. Let me put myself in this corner for this part. Doubles. Okay, all right. I don't hate that. Med Rosario. You got Harrison Bader, Tatis, along with Vladdy are going to be your home run leaders next year. RBIs, runs. Okay. Interesting, though. That playoff picture is just so strange. So strange. I just don't believe it at all. Obviously, MLB The Show is such a weird way in how it sims and how everything plays out, but I am flabbergasted by what I've just seen there. Okay, so Vladdy and Tatis are going to be your MVPs next year, which I'm all down for. That's insane. Huascar Ynoa. Yeah, that's going to be my Cy Young next year along with Shane Bieber. Okay. Yeah. All right, for sure. Jake Berger and Michael Rucker, a reliever with the Cubs, is going to be your Rookie of the Year. Oh, are we serious? Are we sure about that? All right, let's advance. Keep moving forward through the postseason. See how this all plays out. And it's going to be the Padres advancing, beating the Braves in the wild card. What about the other side? Did I say the White Sox won? It did. Interesting. No, I don't want to play a game, so I'm actually going to have to do this, sadly. Let's see what happens. What do we have for the playoff picture now? Cleveland versus the White Sox and Miami versus the Dodgers. This is wild. Okay, so the Dodgers versus Cleveland. The Dodgers versus Cleveland in the World Series next year. It is going to be the Dodgers sweeping it. Okay, sure. Fran Mill is your playoff MVP. AJ Pollock is your World Series MVP. Sure, there it is. Those are my free agent predictions. That's how it affects the major leagues. Who knows, man? Sure. Like I said, anything could happen. Who knows? Let me know your free agent predictions. I honestly have no idea what's gonna happen, man. Those are just my predictions. It's one of those where I'm seeing reports that the Rangers and the Tigers are interested in Marcus Semien now. Who knows? Who knows? I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you're new. That's it. Peace.